What's going on, guys? Welcome back to P-Band's Vlogs Nightly Streaming. Today, I guess we're doing Sony Vegas. I have a bunch of different people whenever I do work or when I bump into people or a lot of my friends. They have a lot of questions, or they always ask questions about Sony Vegas. People want to learn, or they want to know what kind of different edits I do. I am not a teacher. I'm not a professional at this stuff. I edit every day. I definitely do a lot of different things. So I always hear my friends or different people don't even know how to get started on Sony Vegas. I've been using this program since maybe like 2007, 2008. I can't even remember. I've been using it that long, so I don't know, is it that old? I've been using it for more than 10 years. But I've been using it every day. I make edits all the time. I used to do it just for fun, but now I do it for, I guess, kind of work or for a job. But I can get you simple things done. You can learn either just how to edit your home video stuff, make them look cooler, more cinematic or more movie-like. Or if you have stuff to do for personal business stuff or your stuff at work, we can figure out, or even just if I show you the different edits, maybe you could figure out how to do different projects. Or as I do the weekly tutorials, I'll get into how to make video flyers or regular flyers or little commercials, timing, stuff like that. I don't know, or stuff that I know that has worked with me in the past. I can try to pass on the info. But today we'll just go through how to actually start with the program, how to pull stuff in, pull in different files, how to edit them, prepare them, a little more in depth to that, and render it, I guess. Hopefully everything's working. Hopefully the streams are working okay. Let me take a look here. They seem to be on. I don't know if they're laggy or not. It's like I said, we're streaming now on 3 platforms. YouTube is the main stream, and we're streaming on Twitch and USTREAM now. We have 3 platforms, and later a lot of these. I mean, we have vlogs on the vlog videos on the YouTube channel, but we'll be rotating the videos on a cable station platform pretty soon, maybe in a couple weeks whenever we get that ready, so that'll be pretty cool. But let's just get into the Sony Vegas that is behind me. Let me disappear a little smaller in the corner here, and if you open up the program, it should just look just like this. And like I said, we'll look into pulling in a file, how to work with them, and hopefully I won't ramble on too much. I'm just gonna kind of just go through what I do, I guess, and see if this helps or encourages you to use the program. Or if you have any questions, leave them in the description, or in the comments below. I can always do them for next week's tutorials or something like that if you want to know how to do a certain thing. But we'll chroma key some stuff. We'll do maybe some keyframing. If not, we'll put it in next week. But like I said, I'll just do something where I'm able to just put in a file, put in some music, some titles and stuff, and then just see what happens from there. So anyways, here is the whole Sony Vegas program. I'm on 13. I think they're on Sony Vegas 14 now. Let me pull in a little bit here. Alright. And you can also, if you don't know frame rates, we're just gonna go quick over frame rates. Maybe I'll do another tutorial on that if you don't know. But you should render at stuff, as far as I know, you should keep them at least 30 frames when you render for the internet or for sharing out, because not everyone has the greatest bandwidth or the greatest equipment or computers. So you have to keep that in mind, even if you have stuff in 60 frames, like a lot of sports stuff, but you should drop them down to 30 frames. If this doesn't make sense, just listen to the numbers and use those numbers, and then either YouTube stuff or Google stuff and learn about frames. But you have a blank canvas right here. This is the timeline. This is obviously right here on the top right where your monitor is, and on the left here it'll have your tracks controls, rather it be an audio or a video file or a video track, audio or video track. And then transitions, these are your tabs where they have your video effects, where we're going to have the different color correcting and whatever you're gonna look for, the lens flare stuff, TV effects, brightness and contrast. We'll go through those, but yeah, you can always go through those and just try any of those effects out on files. That's always the best way to learn. And then YouTube stuff, because YouTube knows everything, or at least people on YouTube. You got your transitions for the files, we'll go through that. Project media, this is the stuff that after you pull stuff in where they'll show up. And there's two ways you can do it. You could either just drag, where's my files? You can either just drag in, if you can see I have it pulling here. If you look at the timeline, it's kind of like highlighted. You can either just pull in files, which I won't do yet, or you can go to File on the top left, and I don't even do it this way. Import, there you go, import, and then there's media. You can do projects, Final Cut stuff, I don't even know what that's for, but then you can do media, and it should open a window. Are you guys seeing those windows? Yeah, you are. Cool. And then you can either just click on the file you want, like we can pull in this one if we wanted. Oh, hold on, computer's a little slow, it's doing a lot of stuff. And then you see how it just popped up here in the project media section. This is a pretty big file. Then from there you can just drag them onto the timeline like this, and then that gives you your files. If you don't want those, then you can mess with them, but we're not using this one, just as an example. That's one way to pull in files. If you want to do that, you can, oh, right here under this option button, you see these arrows. These are the undo buttons, undo or redo. So say if I didn't want to drop in that, I can just press the undo button, where it does the moves, it goes away, and then we got that file in there. There's this lightning bolt here. Sometimes if your computer's running slow, like later, you'll be doing a lot of editing and a lot of files, and you might not be using a lot of the files, but they'll still be in this project media because you might have pulled them in there at one time. We'll go over this later, but when you're done with a project, to keep it a little more smoother or cleaner, when it's done and you have all your files in this timeline, if you want to get rid of any of the files you never even ended up using in the project, you just hit this lightning bolt in the top left, and it will clear anything in this project media section that's not in this timeline, that you're basically making a decision that you're not going to use it anymore. So this is not here anymore, so if I press this lightning bolt, that should disappear. There you go, now it's gone, and it's better work. It helps the program work better, I believe. Oh yeah, another thing you can try doing too, because some people have problems with it, excuse me, with the program lagging when it's either playing or you're doing edits. Where would that be? Preferences, options, preferences. Go to video. Sometime this, would it be the RAM at 0? Is that what they did with the dynamic RAM? Yeah, maybe not. Don't worry about that. Maybe they changed that, because usually that was at a high number. But never mind. Skip that. So okay. So either we pulled in a file from import only, or how I like doing it is, you can't see it, sorry, but I have a folder open on another screen, and I just grab my file. I hold down the left mouse click button. You see me coming in on the side of the screen here. I just pull it in on the timeline and then just drop it in there, and then it does everything all at once anyways. Excuse me. Give me a second here. Computer acts a little slow, like I said. If you look behind me, you can see there's a little bar that it's rendering, building the peaks of, you'll see it turn green over here over my left shoulder. It's building the peaks of the audio, and it's a pretty big file, and like I said, I have like we're streaming to like 3 platforms. But, oh yeah, again, hello everybody. We are now streaming P-Band vlogs to 3 different platforms: Twitch, USTREAM, and the main one, YouTube. So welcome everybody, and today we're doing just a quick Sony Vegas tutorial on how to just get started. So alright, so now we just dragged in this video file into the timeline, and it puts up a audio track on the bottom here, which you can see. There's not much audio on here. Oh, this is like footage from Legoland. It's not that great as lighting, so this will be a good project to do. So, but it has audio track and it has your video track up top here. And on the left here you have this one for the video. If you look, it has the level, so you can pull down the level to see through or not. It has your different, what we can get into later, the different effects buttons, and then stuff for 3D. And then under is the audio track, and this is the volume. Here you can turn it up or down, the whole track itself. And then it has the pan left and right. Record buttons if you use it, like it's, you know, you can use this just like a regular audio program. You can record on it, just do audio edits or renderings or conversions or whatever you want to do. It has your different settings. Well, that popped up over here for your different EQs. I'm not going to touch these stuff, and I'm very tone deaf. And this is for both of them. If you need to mute tracks, these are your mute buttons, and these are your solo buttons, these exclamation marks. But then also here on the track itself, when you click on them, see how they highlight? That's how you basically select them, by just left clicking the button. You can also fade them here for the video, and you can't hear it, but the audio as well. You can change the audio here as well. So if you need to turn up all the track, everything, you keep them the same, because then you can just label it like GoPro 1 audio. Oh yeah, this is where you label them. And then you can just label this too, like GoPro video. And either you could turn up the whole track itself, and then maybe some parts might be tweaking. Then you can also just tweak them over here, turn them down or whatever. So, but yeah, that's how you pull on a track. This is some footage from Legoland. I have these guidelines. This above the monitor, there's this tab for finding your grids or safe areas. You can put the grid up if you're trying to be precise on moving things. I eyeball a lot of stuff. Shh. And then these are the safety grid areas, the safety areas for broadcasting. So you should stay within these, because you know how you watch sometimes. Even sometimes they fluke a lot on cable stations, but you know how the logos or something gets cut off on the side, or it's stretched incorrectly. They are not using these guidelines, but you should follow these. I'd stay on the inside one, and this usually keeps everything in frame for pretty much when I see them, even on monitors or TVs or anything. I mean, it might go a little farther. You can do the wide one, you could risk it. But I would stay in with that one. That's only for text stuff, not for the whole video. Always go all the way to the end of the video. But for text stuff or stuff you don't want cut off for sure, like for framing the face or something, or logos, you would want to keep them within this inside. So, alright, enough rambling with that. This, since we're up here, this button is, there's a little disc button. This one, you say you want to do a screenshot. You should make sure you put it on full. Oh yeah, let's go back one. This is the preview button. So it's on full right now. You can't tell because this footage looks like poo. We need to fix it. But for playing purposes, because like I have a lot of things going on the computer right now. I have like 4 programs going, and we're doing like 3 streams. It's on full, and hey, if you live in the world of all the RAM in the world like my girlfriend does, then lucky you, but I don't. So I put the preview, there's half and quarter. I put it at quarter, and it looks fuzzy now, but it makes everything at least playable. Like, look, even now, it looks a little, it actually looks really laggy. You're not even gonna be able to tell it's playing, but that's only because my computer is running like the streaming program, Sony Vegas, and streaming. and I have like 4 social medias going and 3 chats. So that's crazy. So alright, so where are we? So okay, so we have all this here. So, but this save button, this disk button, this is if you want to do a screenshot of the whole thing, if you're doing like a freeze frame thing, or you can do a title thing, or you need the screenshot for social media or something else. All you do is just go to the part that you want to take a screenshot of. I'll find something. Like again, I said this is just some random, Lego footage we need to edit for our child's channel. But okay, so here's a Lego picture of Obama. So say you want to take a screenshot of this and use it for something. Put your preview back to full. You can't really tell much, but you can see it a little bit, but it cleared up. But you should put it on full, and then if you hit the save button, it'll take a screenshot, and you can see here, and it pulls it up, so then you could save it, image JPEG 1. I guess I'll save it. Save it. Obama. Lego. And then you'll have that, and you can use that or whatever. So, okay. So there's that, and then you can use these little side. You can grab the side of these and change the size of the monitor, or if you need to make the tracks bigger or smaller, and it can make, depends if you need to see more or look at the track. You can grab them by hitting your left mouse button and grabbing the corners of each different sections. Or if you wanted, you could also click these here. It has a tab, and you could pull these sections out and pull them as windows. I don't like messing with that much. Okay. So alright, I'm going to put this back on quarter. And now we got this on the timeline with the audio and video. On your keyboard for the Windows, the letter S, the S button is a split. I think that's what it's called. So that's what you do, is you just have wherever you have, make sure the video, it's white. Make sure the video that you want to hit, you want to cut, is highlighted to the darker or whatever you have it set on. And it'll cut both that it's linked, because the video and audio is linked together. You can just press S and it will cut your cuts wherever you want. If you needed to pull this off, or if you needed to do rearranging, or I don't know what you wanted to do. But then a lot of like workhorse stuff is obviously, and you want to get rid of stuff, the delete button obviously will delete. So you either could just do S, and then I just press delete, and then it just gets, it should just get them out of there. Sorry, my computer is working slow again because it's doing a lot of stuff. But then you can just press your S to cut, or S to split, and then highlight the one that you don't want or whatever you're doing to it, and then you can delete it. You can also take a video file, and even though you cut it, however long it is front and back, you can press the control button on your make sure this is all going right. Cool. Alright, just want to make sure everything's recording or broadcasting the way it should, or if you're just, I don't even know if you're hearing audio. But alright, cool. So you can press the control button on your keyboard, and then grab and press your left mouse button, and then you can drag and pull off whatever part. Oh, actually no, that's wrong. Sorry. Don't press control. Just click your left mouse button and grab whichever side of the video clip, and it'll stretch, and you can just pull back more of what you just cut off, or if you want to bring it back. And same with this, on the going backwards, you can pull off as many as you want. But you see this little nick here, or slit or cut, that shows that that's the beginning of the video. So if you, I don't know if mine will play it. But what it does is, you know, if you went too far, it just plays from the beginning. It loops itself. So if you just pulled it and pulled it, it would just loop. So you want to watch out for that little mark, and then that's actually the beginning of the video. But yeah, wow, this is bad. This is bad for you to go show you guys how to play it, because mine won't. It's kind of laggy. I have to figure that out, video playing wise. But alright, so you can just press your left mouse button and stretch, and that's pretty common. And then if you want the time stretch or slow-mo, then you would press the control button or control key, and then hold down the left mouse button and grab either side, and you see how there's that squiggly line now, and then now that's what it does. You won't be able to tell again because of my computer, but then that's how you can slow-mo stuff, speed them up or slow them down. That's same thing too, is that if this is a regular clip, if you wanted to speed them up and make them go fast, then you just hit the control and then you just pull the opposite way and shrink it, and it'll crush it for as much as it can. Let's see what else we could do. You can, okay, oh here. So those are the basic functions for the split and deletes for the keyboard. But whenever you get every file, so say this is a new file, here I'm going to get rid of these parts. Give a second, the computer's pretty slow. So okay, so say this is a new file that you just pulled in. Right after you pulled in the file, the first thing you should always do is right click the video timeline part. This is the video timeline, this is the audio timeline here. Right click the video and then go to properties in this pull down menu, and you'll have these mute, lock, loop, maintain aspect ratio. What that does is maintain aspect ratio is, even though you see your whole on there's, when you do the different layers, you'll see that even though you'll see it on the whole video, it will only stay in the ratio that it's at. So if, say if you had a little logo and it was only this part, you actually really can't see the whole part. You'll see what I mean, but you should, to have more movement in your video, well, actually we should skip that. Reduce interlace flicker. You should always click this on all your videos. And what that does, it helps, I don't know what it adds more to the video. It'll make your video look clear as for a short story. And this disable resample, that's also adding more to your video, which you won't understand, but that's what makes videos look fuzzy. Especially with GoPro stuff, you should definitely reduce interlace flicker, click that, and disable the resample, because you don't want to add more to this video. You want it as clear as possible, and you want to reduce this flicker because it's obviously, it sounds self-explanatory too, but always click those two on every clip before you start. Oh yeah, also too, you should always have your frame rate. If you're doing 60 frames, which is 59, 60 or 24 frames, I don't know what you're doing. Up top here, this arrow with, it looks like a little kind of a clipboard. If you click that, this is your project properties, and it'll give you a whole bunch of different settings of what you want to do. The 1280, 720, 1080, 1920, 1080, whatever. And it also has within, if you don't understand frame rates, it has the 59 frames, 50, 29, 25, 23, depending if you're doing US, Europe, regular sports, fast moving stuff, or cinematic. That's a whole nother story too. But if you have a GoPro, they're pretty much 60 frames. So you could do 1920, 1080. I usually do 1280, 720. I don't know why, but I do them at 59 frames. If for some reason you want to you're looking for something that's not here, the 1920, 1080, 60 frames or 59 frames, you can just customize it. So pick one that's close. So say you want to do 1920, 1080, but you want 60 frames or 59 frames instead of 30 frames or 29 frames. Pick that one anyways. So this has the one, but it's only the 30 frames. Keep all the same settings that they're at. As far as I know, I'm sure you could probably tweak some of it. I always research that stuff, and that stuff changes all the time. But right now, pretty much with the latest additions, they've all been pretty good on their settings. So I usually leave everything, but right here is your frame rate around the left area here, if you can see the mouse. Then you could change it to your 59 frames. See, they have all of them here, 24, 59, or 30, 59. You should render out at whatever, but I usually put the timeline to whatever your footage is. You can always, it's always better to render down or go down in frames rather than go up, because then that's what makes everything looks fuzzier too. Like, you can't take 24 to 30 frames. I mean, you can, but that's when some projects just don't look right. You can't go up in frames. It's like frames is like a deck of cards. Each frame is a deck of cards, so if you take away 30 frames, the reason why it doesn't look as clear as 60 because you got all that space and air. So if you took 30 frames and you put it to 60 or 24 to 30, the computer fakes those cards, so imagine just getting really bad fake cards, and that's also what makes something looks fuzzy, if that makes sense. We'll do something on frames. I'm not really explaining it that well either, but always go down in frames, never go back up in frames. So blah blah blah, pick your 59 frames that you're looking for if you want to change this, and this is the custom 1920 1080, and then you just even put like relabel it, like put your whatever settings, like Eric for IG, like Instagram or something. I don't know what you're gonna do, and then press the save button, and it should show up somewhere up here at the bottom. So then you always, for later, you'll have that 1920 1080 59 frames, and then whichever one you pick, press apply or OK. You can do apply if you're anal, then you just press OK, and there's your 1920 1080. So then there you have your file ready, where we reduced the interlace flicker and turned off the resample, and it'll make it look clear. You got your project timeline, or the whole project, at the same frame rate that we picked above here as your files that you're working with. So every time you pull in your file, you just have to turn off the resample and all that stuff in the properties, and that should be good to go. So it stinks that this is lagging so much with computer. So alright, so this is a little different too with this footage because they have color lights in this, but watch, we can kind of fix this, because like this footage, we can just look this as a part. It's dark. I'll put this on full for the effects, and I'll pull this a little larger. So there's a little bit of a color light on this footage as well, and there's not lit that much, and this is a GoPro inside, an older GoPro indoors, so this doesn't look that great, but we can clean it up the best that we can. Let's go to video effects. Over here, the tabs, kind of like the left side above the timeline tracks parts. Video effects right here, click that tab. First, okay, even though there's that color, sometimes, I don't know if you've ever seen footage, especially my footage, something looks like too like this color, or it has like a yellow color from maybe the sun, which you want naturally, but sometimes when you use inside lights you get that wrong color, and there's like a little bit of that yellowing. They got a tab on here. If you go to the video effects tabs, and then we go to the different video effects, my computer's thinking a little bit. Go to color corrector. There's secondary and there's regular color corrector. There's the default. Number one, this is the one. To take one of these, all you do is just select the one you want. Red midtones, maybe something had too much of these colors or whatever. Or you need to add those colors. You could pick it. But for most regular color correcting, I pick the default. So you just grab it, left mouse button, drag it onto the video. Just drop it onto the video file that you wanted to use it on. And give it a second. Usually doesn't take this long. Again, sorry, computer. I wonder if the stream's even lagging. Sorry if the stream is lagging, because like I said, we are streaming to YouTube, USTREAM, YouTube, and Twitch, which Twitch has been pretty cool. Everyone's been cool on there, and I've only been on there a couple times, and it seems more fun than YouTube. I mean, I love YouTube, but in YouTube I feel kind of like restricted, even though no one's telling me anything. I just feel weird. And Twitch, I'm not doing anything different because these are all streamed all together, so it's not like I'm going all crazy on Twitch. I'm still being somewhat family or kid friendly, but it just feels more fun and free out there. So welcome Twitch, welcome USTREAM, and thank you YouTube, because YouTube's been a lot of fun and it's been fun building this stuff. So anyways, alright, color correctors. Blah, 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 blah. This is here where you could either tweak them up here. This is stuff that you either would do tutorials on, or if you need to know them now. There's tons of good tutorials out there more in depth than me that can show you how to color correct. I'm not really good at sound quality or color correcting or quality. I like it, but I'm not good at it really. But I know how to do it. So here's your saturations on the bottoms, your gammas, your gains, your offsets. You either could tweak them by looking at your lows, mids, and highs. Like here you can, you know, move them around and see where, you know, what they do to your whatever you're trying to fix that way. Or I'm gonna press the undo button, get rid of all that stupid stuff I just did. Oh, I just got rid of the color corrector. I'll drag that back on. Or they have on the bottom your saturations, gammas, gains, and offsets here on the... Oh, that I'm completely in front of. Shanava. Right here, saturations, gammas, gains, and offsets. These are the ones that you also, if you look at the screen, this is where you can brighten it up. Or in general, just concentrate on those areas that they are programmed for. So there you can just mess with your tones and everything and make them black and white or whatever. So, say you did all that. And like I said, there's a color on here, or a light. There's more of a purple light that was going on because it's changing from day to night in the Legoland display. So that's how you do some color correcting. But it also has an option here, this remove yellow casts. And I use this a lot when I do my footage at, oops. When I do a lot of footage for the, just the straight, stuff up in the studio, because it looks real yellow up here. Let me move back down here. This remove yellow cast, watch the video. It will take out... Oh, I actually didn't do well on that one, but it it will take out the yellows and the reds that you're not looking for. I mean, it did brighten it up a lot, but like I said again, this is there's actually a purple light that's going on right now. Hold on, there's some moisture from our drink on the mouse. So, but you can use that when you see it. You'll know what I'm talking about when you get some footage that either looks yellow or kind of reddish. Use that yellow, remove yellow cast. That's really good for it. So, okay, then now there's the brightness and contrast. This is where, depending on what footage you have, there's lighter, darker, blah blah blah. This one can use more brighter and more contrast. So this is the same thing that you just pull with the left mouse button onto your video track. And then this is also by your artistic eye, or you know, by your eye. There's the bright, the contrast. Here's the brightness, your contrasts, center. Maybe, wasn't that 0? 0. And I usually put this at, well, it doesn't depend, depends on the footage. Things like this have a lot. We'll put, try to make it look dark, because that was a night scene for Legoland. I'm just eyeballing stuff. I don't even know what I really want it to look like yet, but definitely don't want shadows or anything. Oh, and this needs to go 0.5. We'll just leave that close. But for every file that I pull in, I always do those properties with the disable resample and that interlace flicker. That you should click the interlace flicker, reduce it, and then disable the resample on each file. So you do that with every file. And then you should do your color correcting and your brightness and contrast. And then also sometimes too, like this one could probably use it, there's sharpen and there's a default. And sometimes it can sharpen up your video. I mean, you don't want to go too crazy on it. I don't know if you can tell by the details from just the video, from the stream. But you can also use sharpen. There's all these different effects you can do. You can use to help like your, depending on what's going on with your video file. There's obviously hundreds or close to 100 different effects. But for just doing basic editing itself, that's 3 or the 4 basic things that you do to each file. And then we haven't even edited it yet. That's like preparing. Usually, you know, that stuff will only take you like, you know, like a minute each or something for each video file. But you know, when you do events or something, I mean, it's like hundreds of files, and you're just like, man. But you can do bulk stuff too. But that's why when you get one setting for one lighting situation, rather it be outside in the day or night or whatever, you'll group those and do the same color correcting for all, because they all should be pretty much the same settings if it's in the same situation. So, alright, so that's how you do the color correcting and preparing your video file. We learned how to split them. So then say you're gonna split your files, it's with the S key. You can just move them around. If you need to, because everything's done in layers, say for this file you needed to you only wanted the video from this file, not the audio. Highlight the audio track, or either one, but you can highlight the audio track or click on it so it's highlighted. You press the U, and that touches like each video file. I guess maybe Sony Vegas calls it a group, because there's this option here when you do the right click on the file. There's the properties and there's this group, and you can actually group a bunch. So if you did an edit of these 3 and you wanted them to stay together, which I'll show you, you can group them. But if you hit one and then you press the U button, it detaches it. Now these are now completely separate. Now if it's the audio and the video, it won't be synced. You really got to line it up again, or just re-pull in the file. But if you only wanted that, then you can detach it with pressing U, and then it detaches it from each other. And then if you want to delete it, then you just highlight which one, get rid of that audio, and then delete. Because if you're doing a montage and you don't need the audio because you're going to be using music, that's how you can detach it. So then when you do layers, like another thing that you want to add video and audio tracks, when you pull in a file, it'll automatically give you whatever. If a file has video and audio, it'll open a video and audio. If it's just like a picture or a JPEG or something, it'll just open a video file, not both, and the audio. Same thing for audio. If it's just an MP3, it's just going to open that. So, oh wait, hold on one second. Hey, is there a way to scroll faster on the timeline selecting thing? Someone asked, is there a way to scroll faster on the timeline selector thing? Do you mean by this going back and forth if you're still there? I don't know what you mean by faster, but do you mean there's these on the right and left side? There's the plus and minus buttons that changes the size of the timeline by zooming in and out, kind of. Is that what you mean by scrolling faster? I don't know there's any faster way. You can use your mouse button, but if you zoom in and out, like if I'm working real close right here, where'd it go? I'll put this marker here. Yeah, it takes a long time to scroll this way, but when I'm done working on an area, I'll scroll out and then move through the timeline, so that makes it faster. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Sorry I had to stop. I saw there was a chat question, but I wasn't really looking at chat, so. Okay, so we're doing layers. Back to this thing. So we separated the audio from this video. if you're gonna add something, if you want to add the tracks before you put in the file, you can right click the timeline, and obviously it has here, you open files, and it'll just probably open, if you need another one on the timeline you can, or you do insert audio track, insert video track. So this video I'm gonna put on over as a layer on top of this one, because how the timeline works is it's kind of like, basically it's reading from the top to the bottom of the tracks. So if you're doing layers, the top is going to be the one shown on top, and then these are going to be shown behind it. So I want to put this video track on top of this one. So I will right click on the timeline, and then I'll add video track here from the window, and then added one right here, and I can just put like graphic 2, label it so you don't get confused. And then you can just move this video, or you should be able to. Why is it not moving? Hey, why is it stuck? What's that? That's weird. Why is that stuck? How about I remove from? Oh, that's funny. Have our first problem. So anyways, let's do it to this one. I don't know why that's stuck there. Then you can take your video track and you can move them up there. Wow, why is that there? We're gonna leave that there. That's all ugly. Computer's freaking out. Either that or I did some option, I don't know. So that's how you can add the video or audio track. So say you're gonna add a music bed to this. Just do right click, add audio track. You have audio track here. Label it so you know what it is. Oops. Music bed. And then, where's my files again? What were we gonna put in there? Let's see if I can find a music file real quick. Give me 1 second. I'll just find any random file, which will be bad because it'll be one of my songs, because at least I'll know it'll be copywritten free. Oh wait, let's go to this, and then we'll play. Sorry, I don't know why it's taking so long for this stupid file. Alright, cool. So I grabbed the file, and like I said, I like pulling my files just right in. I don't use that import. And you have it right here. This is just an MP3. I'm going to turn this down just for audio purposes. But then there, it's done rendering. So then now I have like a music bed for this project. Whoa, that's really loud. So I'm just going to turn this down. Well, I'll do it here so it's not confusing. Cool, so that's just there. We just won't hear it much because I need to speak easy, obviously, and I think I have background music going too. So that's how you can add background music to your video as well. What else can we go through real quick? Oh, say if you want to add a title to your project, do another, again, let's get a free timeline, free video track on this timeline. Let's do a right click just anywhere on the blank timeline, insert video track up top here, and then here's your inserted video track, and then we can just put text on here, and then you right click that empty track that you made, the video track, do a right click and insert text media, and that'll bring up another window, and you'll see the text media file thing. Again, this should happen in half a second, but again, sorry, my computer is lagging a lot. Hopefully the stream is not lagging. I'll find out after this. This is the first tutorial that I'm doing where I'm streaming to 3 different platforms, so excuse if it's lagging or if it's horrible. I'll figure out the kinks after this. But hello to YouTube, Twitch, and Stream, USTREAM. That's we're supposedly connected to at the moment. Let me get rid of these files real quick. Let's check. Yeah, we look like we're still connected. Perfect. Alright, so this is where we have the text media, and this comes in with the video media generators. It pulls up this. We put it, if you look over here, you could always stretch it later, but right here on this text video track that we made, it has the media. You can just stretch it, just pull your left mouse button, and then again, let me move this. If you zoom in, you see those little clicks. That's it repeating, because it only gave us like actually this section. Oh yeah, so say if you wanted to play a different part, a highlighted part, just click your left mouse button and pull and highlight, and it'll only play that section. I guess another functionality we're running into I didn't explain. Or yeah, or I could have said this a long time ago, but these are also things that are probably pretty easy to figure out. The play buttons, that's the slow button. These are the nudgers. I'm sorry, I'm under the monitor. Again. Play button, pause, stop, all that stuff. This is the skip tracks to the next nearest file. And then this is the nudgers, so if you want to go frame by frame, and the record button. But you can just also highlight a part, and then on the bottom here, if you wanted to loop it, down on the bottom left here on the timeline, if you can see this over my left shoulder, there's the record button, same stuff here, but you can just press loop and it'll loop just that section you highlighted. But anyways, alright, same thing on this, the properties. Well, wait, let's type something. So obviously you just type something. Let's put Lego. Oh, hopefully I don't crash. We'll put Lego Land, and I believe you have to highlight it, which is weird. But here's all your center and all that stuff, and bold, italicized. Here's how you can change your font sizes. All your different font types are in here. You can pick which ones you want, whichever ones you stole off the internet. We got the Lego Land, cool. Or you basically could just use this like a wizard and do the same thing and just pull on the tabs. You can just left mouse click it, move them around. This is with the higher ones. I don't know if I don't know when that started. Did that start after Sony Vegas 11 or 12 or something? I'm on 13, but that's when they added this stuff, which made it a lot more easier and fun. Okay, and under this text stuff too, they have animation, which is cool, and I guess these are just some random ones it comes with. Ooh, what is this earthquake one? Let's see. I don't know, will my computer play this right now? Let me put this on quarter. I have no RAM right now. Cool. Let me turn that down more. Why is that so loud? We don't need to be hearing that right now. Okay. So those are the different effects, or I guess animation. That's pretty cool. So we'll leave that on for now. This is your scaling here. I'm back on the windows here for the settings for the text, for your font sizes. And then you could, oh yeah, remember you're up here up top the monitor, you got your guidelines. There's the grid if you're going to be exact on something, or the scale, the safe areas, the safe areas for TV if you're going to, you know, make this grow bigger or whatever. So let's say if you want to keep it within, make sure it doesn't get cut off on any TVs or flat screens or anything like that. Oh, here's the center, left, right, blah blah blah. You can move them there. Advanced section. Alright, let's make this, oops, 2 lines. Any misspellings there? Oh wow, that kind of fit right in there. That's kind of karma. Alright. Then you have here under the advanced settings, there is the tracking, which is the space in between your letters there. If you want to crunch them, however you want it to look. And then the line spacing, obviously that's in between. So however, you know, you want it to look, that's there. Then you could add outline. There's an outline. Oops, why did that move? Stupid scroll button. Here's the outline width. You could do change their outline color. Can you see? Oh, I'm this ugly guy. Here's the outline width, the color. So pick the color here on the bottom. If you need it darker, just change it. Just change it. Aren't I the greatest tutorial teacher? So here I'm just changing these levels. I don't know, that's how I always learn, just move stuff. Now we got black. Right on top is the outline width. And like you could really see that over black. So we'll go over this footage. Alright, I think this tutorial's gotta come to an end soon. I'm going crazy. Here you can see the width of the outline. So now I know when you're like, man, why does it take so long for that video? Look at this, we're just doing title and we haven't even edited that one video. Just got it ready. It's what, an hour? I don't know. So there you can change your colors. So it can have a border or an outline. There's shadow. And that's all you get from me on that. So there, that's how you can add text. And like I said, we put like an animation on it. So it says like that moving animation. Or if you wanted it to transition in, I'm pretty sure it has something fun. Man, look how slow my computer's going. How slow is the stream going? Come on, you're a big boy. You can just press stop. Excuse me. That was like really close to the mic. I hope you guys didn't hear that. Look, they got action flip, coming at you. Coming at you might be cool. Let's do that. So there's always different transition ones. I wonder how this is gonna play on my computer. So I'm sure that'll look a lot smoother. But that's pretty cool. So there's a coming at you. So they have different pre-made animations, but later in another tutorial I show you, you could actually do all that stuff yourself. Like basically whatever you think of in your head, you can just keyframe it. That's another whole story. So there you can do your little animation stuff. You can mess with those different settings, or you can look up different YouTube tutorials by other great YouTubers, or I'll eventually get to it. So cool. Then there's how you add quickly, or that's how you prepare the video file. You can separate them, add text to them, got your added music to it. So let's kind of try to make this a little neat, just looking for now. And then say you only wanted that much. Let's cut all that down. Say this is the text and title you want. You're doing this really cool intro. You think you're so awesome. Everyone's gonna watch your video and that. Cool. So say you got all that. You can highlight it. Left mouse button. Drag it across all the timeline part you want to. Let's zoom in there. Even zoom in there and make sure you're in there and it locks in. I just ruined it. Highlight it again. Pressure, you can hover over this part, whatever that is. And then it has those arrows come up. Left click it, and then you can drag and adjust to make sure that you have each side the way whatever you want rendered. What you're looking at is what you're looking at. These crop marks you don't need right now. So then you have that highlighted. This is you're done. You got title. You prepared your file with the disable, resample, and the interlace flicker you turned off or reduced it. You got your music bed. You got everything labeled up, which that's just for your own editing preference. Then you highlight the area you want to render. You guys are almost done. And then up top left, you go File, Render, right here. Then here is, you're either doing MP4s or you're doing WMVs or Windows movie files. I think Windows Movie Maker files or WMVs. Those are the most those ones are, I think, bigger files. I think they're better quality files, I believe. WAV files and WMVs. Oh man, is my Sony Vegas gonna freeze? But usually everyone's into MP4s. And those have been the smallest file sizes, but best quality, I believe. But usually when I'm working at home, if I'm doing big film projects or something like that, or something that's supposed to be for TV or cinematic, all the way up until the end, until I have to work with Mac people for Final Cut stuff, they'll want MP4s, but I actually keep everything at 60 frames and at WMVs until the very last render or second that I have to hand it over to dumb it down. Everyone says Final Cut Pro is better and everything for Vegas, but I've found that I have to dumb down the quality to give the Apple people what they want. But then yeah too, I mean the Apple stuff, it looks great, it looks way clearer sometimes than after I get it, but file wise I always have to dumb it down for Macs. And I'm not dissing Macs, I'm just saying what I have to freaking do. So okay, so anyway, so here's your different stuff. Try to roll over that. Your main concepts, you got MP2s, MP3s, you got Windows movie or Windows files, you got waves, whatever you're gonna do. Say you're gonna render for internet, for Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. You want to render at 30 frames, or if you're at 50 or 48 and you're doing cinematic, you're gonna want to go to 24 frames. There's two different MP4 ones. You really gotta look around and start, but I found this one, the main concept, the AVC. There's different ones because there's two different MP4s. I always get confused every time I look in here, but I look for a setting that's internet because you want it at the highest quality, but you want it at the smallest file size that you can for the highest quality, because like again it said, not everyone has the top internet speed or equipment, so you want to dumb it down to the best quality that you can. So they do pre-made internet settings. You can get geekier later and go and tweak your own settings under the customs. Under any template, you can change any template that you want. You can get close to what you want and then tweak it. That's what I did to get my different ones. But preset wise, they got an internet one that's great for internet, and then you could pick your 720, 1080, blah blah blah, 480, 360. We want to render at 1080 if you want, so pick your internet 1080. Up top here is the browse for where you want to save it to. So you pick that file, label it whatever you want, blah 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 blah. Do save. You pick that, and I'm not going to press it because my computer is going to blow up about now. You got the render. All you do is you hit your render button, and then it renders, and then it takes a lot of time. I've done projects, at least because I have a slower computer. I mean, stuff that's like 5-10 minutes, it could take like a half hour to render. My 15-20 minute projects that have like 20-30 layers on it, those things can take like 2.5 hours. But then something else does the same thing that could just be mostly narration or conference, just quick cuts and not a lot of graphics or layers. That same 15-minute project, that one that took 2.5 hours, it can only take a half hour for that one. It all depends on how much RAM you have too, or if you got an i5, i7, blah blah blah. So that's other stuff. But there you go. Hopefully I helped you guys out with at least getting started with the program. I mean, that's how you pull in a file. what I think you should do to prepare each file, because you could pull in, I bet you maybe even you use Sony Vegas or even a different program, even Final Cut, and you pulled in the file and you're like, ah, this is HD, this is supposed to be 1080p, this is 4K, and then it looks like poo. Maybe there's a couple tweak settings that I brought up that you can maybe use, and that's all you had to do to fix it. But you do those prepare sections. Here's a couple ways just to do the quick, how you want to cut something, how you want to do layers, add layers. There's some of that, and then that's how you basically render it, and then you should have your movie file or whatever you want. But that was a long, drawn out, quick tutorial. I'm just getting started. I'm not the most tech guy or have all the terminology down, but I can get some stuff done. But I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I could show you all the chroma key stuff, the green screen stuff, the different animations, like stuff that you do all in After Effects. I mean, basically this, to me, this is basically Final Cut Pro and like After Effects and I don't know, even like Photoshop all in one, but it moves. And I even use this even just for making tracks or videos. Oh yeah, we haven't gone through over copying and all that stuff. But yeah, there's so much stuff we can go over. But we'll pick if no one picks a subject next week, I'm gonna pick a subject like different. We'll go over chroma key stuff because yeah, that's just green screen stuff. But I mean, I use that stuff on logos, knock things out. Like you can use chroma key stuff in a lot of creative ways that I don't know, maybe I just thought up. I just live in this room and I don't think no one's done it. But I don't know, there's a lot of ways you can use those different tools. But there you go. Is today Wednesday? I took out the garbage. Today's Wednesday. We're doing Wednesday Sony Vegas streaming of tutorials. God, I don't know if I helped anyone out there. I hope you did. There's a bunch of people you guys watching, so hopefully just get you started. Like I said, I'm not going to make anything pro. I don't know. If you have any questions on any of the videos that I made, like kind of edits I did, or any graphic stuff, my girlfriend does a lot of graphic stuff on After Effects. But I do a bunch of stuff too that maybe you have questions on. Check out my videos, see if you have any questions on them, or if there's something that you didn't know, like, you know, that you haven't found on the internet or just didn't really look and you want to ask me. I can probably either answer it verbally or I'll do a tutorial on it if it's pretty interesting enough. I'm not saying you're not interesting, but we got 52 of these to make a year, so that shouldn't be hard. There's tons of things to learn on here. But thanks for joining the stream. We got other streams to do tonight. I think I'm doing Clash Royale. There's I know I just did Clash Royale last night, but there's this what is that? The Battle Ram Draft Challenge that starts at like 2 in the morning. And I'm probably not going to touch that game all day tomorrow, so I'm just going to probably catch it before I go to sleep. So I'll stream that over in the Clash Royale community, but that'll be going through on YouTube, Twitch, and USTREAM. Then tomorrow, maybe I'll play Overwatch tomorrow. I was gonna play Overwatch a little bit later. Maybe I will too, but I think I got some mixes or something to work on. I gotta also stream some DJ mixes. We do mixing and a lot of like scratch sessions and stuff, but I never broadcast them because everyone's always broadcasting their own BS. But I guess I'll put it on here too. But yeah, check out the videos. We got all different gaming stuff, how-tos, vlog stuff. Now we got these tutorials. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you later tonight on the next stream if you're looking on gaming for Clash Royale. If not, Twitch. You guys are always on there on Twitch. I'm lost on Twitch right now, but we're streaming on there. Let me know what chat stuff I'm ignoring or donation stuff, or I don't even know how any of that stuff works. I'm just streaming. It's fun. I'm glad. I'm just trying to get these platforms down, but we'll practice the gaming streaming, these tutorials, and I'm actually going to be doing the DJ mixes. I'll be doing those too a little more open on Twitch, but I think I'm going to be doing some DJ mixes during my gaming as well as the background music. I'll video record the mixes, and I'm going to play those mixing while gaming at the same time. That'll be pretty interesting. But thanks again for watching. P-Band Vlog, nightly streaming, Sony Vegas Wednesday tutorials, gaming every night with Clash Royale, Overwatch, or League of Legends. We got daily vlogs twice a week, a whole bunch of different videos coming out, ready doing turntable how-tos, cooking stuff, reviews, reaction shows. all this streaming stuff. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. This stuff is fun. Hopefully some of these tutorials work out, and we will see you guys either later tonight or on the next video or stream you care to partake in on this YouTube, Twitch, and USTREAM adventure. Come find me on Facebook. Look for my, I don't even know how many links I got. See you guys later.